Hello, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for joining wherever you're joining from. Welcome to another week of talking about live streaming and ATEMs and YoloBoxes and whatever you want to chat about. This has been an interesting weekend in Portland. We had a huge snowstorm yesterday, most of the day, and things are a bit of a mess here. So thankfully, I still have power. That is, however, not the case for about 100,000 plus people in the Portland area. So I'm very glad we still have power. Cross your fingers. At this point, the wind and the snow have stopped. So unless something really bad happens, probably going to be okay. I probably shouldn't have said that, but I do have a YoloBox there with battery. If it all falls apart, should be able to keep things going. We will see. We will see. I have 2 cell phones with data, so yeah, okay. Latest count was 150K from PGE. Okay, yeah, wow. That's a lot. That's a lot. Portland, let's see, Portland General, there it is, outages. Let's take a look at the outage map really quick, just because it is, oh yeah, and their phone service went down too, so that's lovely. Where's my, yeah, the outage map in the Portland area is kind of a lot. There's a lot of people, and it's not just the remote areas either, like a lot of central Portland too. No good. There, oh yeah, oh yeah, I gotta get the weather ticker up. That should be fun. Where did I put it? Let's see if this works today. Yes, excellent. Okay. This banner at the bottom is showing us the current weather at all of the places from where everybody said they were joining from in the chat today. So if you, hopefully you see your city there. If not, I might be able to wiggle some wires. 185. Wow, yeah, it just keeps going up. So the you're hoping for stable power to the cell towers and infrastructure behind it when your local power fails. Yeah. Well, we'll see. Mostly what's been happening is trees have been falling down from the wind, and the trees will take out the power lines and block a road. There was a really, amazing collection of photos on the Portland Reddit this morning of all of the trees that have fallen down around the city. Let's see if I can. Yeah, this is really a lot of trees. Mostly not on houses, mostly just in the street. A lot of cars got smashed. That one's just like too perfect. The comments on that one on the thread were hilarious. A lot just laying across the middle of the road. I spoke too soon. I just heard the UPS in the closet give a little click. Cross your fingers. Hope we have a stream today. But yeah, this is just an unprecedented amount of trees. This does not happen all on the same day. Usually there'll be like 1 or 2 when we get a storm, but this one was actually a video. You can watch the video of that one falling. Someone pointed their baby monitor out the window when they saw the wind. Bad news, bad news. So, tree falling from snow or wind. In this case, it's the wind because these started falling down the so what happened yesterday, yeah, it's not much snow on the ground. It's what was happening was we had like a pretty good advance warning that the storm was coming, and you could watch the forecast, and they were predicting like 10 inches of snow in a day, which is unheard of, and here anyway, and it got revised down as it got closer. But the way that the storm happened was basically around sunrise yesterday, it just started getting super windy, and the temperature just plummeted down to like 12 degrees Fahrenheit. What is 12 degrees Fahrenheit? It's negative a lot. it's like -10 or something. I don't know. That's, yeah, well below freezing. And so the temperature dropped, a lot of wind, and then the snow started coming, but most of the damage was all from the wind and just like blowing trees everywhere. They're gusting, it was gusting up to like 45 miles an hour. So yeah, that was, I forgot your country still has overground power lines in cities. I know, it's an interesting way to do it. I was thinking about that the other day actually, because it doesn't seem safe or like a good plan for all these reasons, but it's very common here. So yeah. New contest 2 has the lowest temperature. Yeah. Well, we got a little banner at the bottom. So let's add my fave tech here. Hello from Buckeye, Arizona. Nice and sunny around 48. Nice. Okay. 48 and sunny is actually a nice temperature. I like that. But that is very cold for Arizona. Let me see. Hopefully I just added you to the weather ticker. So hopefully you should see Buckeye in here soon. Let's make sure that's working. Did I do this correctly? I was I was tweaking a lot of things yesterday while I was sitting on the couch waiting for the power to go out. So hopefully all my graphics work. And if not, we will find out very soon. But it looks like it did add you to the queue. Ah, yes, you're in there. Great. Okay. So you should see Buckeye show up. Weather has historically been a bit more temperate here. Yeah, that is true. I mean, like, we don't get a lot of snow, so it is very unusual to have this many or wind storms, really. So yeah. How are the kitties doing with the intense weather? They have no clue. They are inside a heated space with plenty of food and water, and they have absolutely no clue any of this is happening. It is, they're just blissfully unaware. I did bring, where is that picture? I did bring snow inside for them because I was like, I wanted to see what they thought of snow. They're indoor cats, so they're not going outside. But I brought a tray of snow in. Let me see if I can pull this up on my phone. And do I have a preset for this? I think it's this one. Yes, it is. So yeah, I just brought this tray full of snow in and let them poke around and see what they thought of it. It was very cute. They were mostly not super concerned about it. Yeah, did I mute the sound for that? I did. Okay. Yeah. Mostly not concerned about whatever this stuff is. At one point they did start, yeah, poking it to see what it was, but then they just got bored and wandered off. Because they're cats. 24 in Nashville, -6 in Wisconsin. Okay, that's possibly the record here. Hoodie and shorts weather in Florida. Yeah. So the phrase freeze frame gets a new definition. Yeah. Okay, let me queue up some actual questions so we can talk about live streaming and not just the weather. Let me put these into the list over here. WizPope, Missouri got 10 inches of snow a couple days ago. Oof. 17F? Okay, no, you win for coldest. Oh, Michael, you got your Starlink dish on standby. Nice. Yeah, I have the LTE backup modem, but the if it only works if there's power to the rack, so we'll see how long that goes. Okay, I'm finding all the questions so we can get through a couple of them. Bill says, what's your backup plan for live streaming if you lose power? Probably I will just grab the YoloBox that is the Ultra that's on the table there. I didn't actually hook it up yet. I probably should have hooked it up. I'll grab that. It's got a full battery. I have other batteries here as well. And then To start with, since the cameras might be out, I can just plug in a webcam to it. So like the Insta360 or the OBSBOT webcam, because that's USB power. So that's the immediate plan, and then we'll see how much we can get back online. But so far, so good. Okay, let's get to some actual questions. Oh yeah, if you are new here, welcome. If you have a question, start your message with the letter Q, because that makes it easier to see on my screen here. It filters into another column. So, isn't this the Weather Channel? It is when there's, well, I was this close to actually going outside and streaming from the snow again, because it's kind of fun to do that. Grab a YoloBox and make a little portable rig out of it. But I went outside this morning to fly a drone, because I wanted to get a drone photo of the house and of the neighborhood here. And it is currently 12 degrees Fahrenheit outside, which, what is that? -11 Celsius. And I bundled up, got like wool gloves, got my shoes, boots and everything, hat, and got outside. By the time the drone like booted up and actually got a GPS signal, my hands were already going numb. And I flew for like 5 minutes, and then I was like, I can't take it anymore, and I had to run back inside. And that was at like an hour ago, because it only got light like an hour ago. So I'm gonna go back and do it again to go and actually get some photos of the house, because I just did some photos of the street. But -11C isn't that bad, but the wind makes it worse. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Cool. I've got a bunch of questions queued up here, so don't repeat your question, please, because then it just distracts from the chat and from for everything. So I will go through these in a second. Let me just see if there's any other discussion about the backup stream situation. Isn't the phone already on the web presenter? No, that would be a good idea. Although I have noticed that it does not fall over. It doesn't switch over like immediately. So I might have to, if that happens, it's not that much slower to just go run over there and plug it in really quick if I need to. Great. Why does the temperature appear in C or F? How is it determined? It rotates, it switches randomly. So it'll switch on a different schedule than the cities are rotating through, so that hopefully at some point you see your city and your temperature, but it'll just change totally randomly. I could have tested the YoloBox Ultra on a bike ride, a freezing bike ride. Yeah, I only lasted like 15 minutes outside. I decided to not do a stream outside. I need to get more bundled up if I'm going to go do that. Also, I do not have tires that work in the snow. So, okay, let's get to business. Let's get to business and actually get to some of these questions. Okay, we've got a question from Matt. I usually use audio from the Rode Wireless Go 2 or a venue mixing desk for live streaming conferences, but sometimes I want to add an extra mic onto the PTZ. Can you recommend a good preamp? Extra mic onto the PTZ. So you need a little audio interface to go into the camera. I would say it depends on the camera. So like the Lumix makes a special adapter for plugging in XLR mics into Lumix cameras. You don't have to use it, but it does. It's good. But like, if you're trying to get audio into the camera, I think that's going to be the constraining feature first. So the depending on your camera, it'll either have mic or line input. So take a look at that first. I don't know about these PTZ's cameras. I haven't actually used a PTZ camera. I have always been too cheap to buy them, and I didn't want to spend $600 on a crappy one. So I never ended up buying one when I was doing conferences. So if you're using like a DSLR, that would probably be a mic level input, although some of them can switch to line. So then you would need a amp that can do have a line out in that case, or mic level output. So I don't have a particular one in mind, but the PTZ has line in. Okay, so if you do have line in, then you can find any of the like mixer type things. I've used Zoom stuff before, so there's like a Zoom 2 mic input interface, little tiny one. I like that one. I've used that one in some of my recording around here, but I'd say you have a lot of options available for that if you are going into a line input. It's really getting warm in here. I think I left the heater on, and I would like to turn it off. We're going to give you a little kitten break because it is too warm. Yeah, let's cut to kittens really quick. Okay, little kitten break. They're fast asleep on the couch there. Ignore the messy sink. Call Frankie says, have you tried the NDI feature on the OC Ghost Stream deck? I tried it, but I couldn't pick up my NDI studio monitor or presentation software like Easy Worship. Any thoughts? I believe I only briefly tested it and it worked. What could be the problem? If I remember correctly, it's the NDI. It's one of the HX, so it's not going to pick up like a full NDI feed. So that could be the problem if the thing sending out is not sending out the right format of NDI feed. So double check that. I don't remember off the top of my head which of the particular formats the Ghost Stream deck it supports, but take a look at that. Try that. The other thing would be make sure that you actually are connected to the same network and that it's not like a guest network type that blocks clients from talking to each other. So but if it's hardwired in, you're probably fine there. That's what I would do. Check first. One Groovy Planet says, can you give examples of connecting wireless cameras, mobile devices to the ATEM Mini? Wires are a pain. Yes, I agree. I actually do have a video about exactly this. Let me dig up the link really quick. And I did a video earlier, last year. I'll drop the link in the chat for you because this is everything you need to know. Which is 3 ways to use an iPhone. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's with a YoloBox. Although I guess it would be no, here, I'll give you this one. Everything you need to know about using an iPhone as a wireless camera to an ATEM Mini. Okay, there's the link. This was in the summer. Basically, this is about the iPhone in particular, just because it's a good camera and it already has like the wireless thing built in. So, it is a wireless device, right? So that's a great way to do it, just because you can probably find somebody with an iPhone that you can borrow, or you can just, they're kind of expensive to buy as cameras, but you can find like a 1 or 2 generations back sometimes, and they're still pretty good. Like my iPhone is the 13, and I would say it is still perfectly acceptable for taking photos and videos. The other thing that you're not going to find in that video is the totally other way of doing it is a camera with an HDMI transmitter. And you can find HDMI transmitters from Accsoon or Hollyland. And I probably have, it's actually been a while since I've done a video about that. So I should probably do another video about that. but basically it'll be just a transmitter and receiver box. So you put one on the camera, one on the ATEM, and then it's just HDMI in, HDMI out. So you can take whatever camera you want. So pick your camera, and then you can make any camera wireless that way. So those would be the two ways. So the video I linked is about how you can do it with an iPhone. There's a couple different options there. So take a look at that. Let's see. Sarah says, I'm using the YoloBox Ultra. When I switch between video sources or replays, I have to manually put the audio on whichever input I switch to and manually mute the other audios. So there is a feature in the YoloBox for this, and I don't know if it's not working for what you're trying to do or if you just didn't know about it, but it is. Let me boot this up. I can boot this up and show it really quick. I should have plugged it in so I can actually share the screen properly with you, but we will just take a look with the overhead camera once it boots up. Let me see if there was another. Oh, okay, I'm gonna get back to that in a second. Oh, Nils looked up the stats for the GoStream deck. Website says NDI HX H264, 427, 20, 1080 resolution, and every frame rate you want. Cool. So yeah, double check that you're back on the NDI thing. Double check that the thing that you're sending is one of the things in this list. IT Never Gets Old says wires are reliable. Oh, back on the wireless question. Yes, I agree. If you can do a wired camera, that's going to be better. But sometimes you just need a wireless camera. But if you have the ability and patience and time to set up wires, I would always recommend doing wires because they are just more reliable. Shoot, now I'm realizing that I don't have... I may not be able to show this because I have no cameras plugged in. So back on the YoloBox question, the thing that I wanted to show you, let's see, maybe I can add my SRT feed in so that we at least have one video source here. I do like that I can pull SRT now. Let's see, that's 10, 11, 72, I think. Yes, and then port 554/SDI. And what is this going to be? This is the SDI encoder. This is going to be, let's send it my, sure, it'll be the cat cam. Okay. Hopefully that works. No? I probably typed something in wrong. SRT. I wish it would save what I typed though, so I don't have to type the whole thing again. 72, port 554. Maybe I turned it off. That's what it was. I disabled SRT on the device. Oh, and it's actually port 9000 for SRT. Well, that's not going to work. Let's try this. No, this is not my SRT encoder is not working. Darn. Do I have another one? No, but my NDI one should be working. Let's see if that's true. Yes, it found NDI sources. Okay, let's add the Pro Convert. There we go. Oh, there's no audio from NDI sources. Of course, that's silly. So anyway, the button I wanted to show you was this AFV. So if you do that, then whichever video source is on the screen, it should auto switch to. Let's see if that also is true with replays. It is, yeah. So see how the audio came on for the replay and then switched back. So that's what you want to do, is use the AFV feature. Sorry, this is a little bit overexposed, but it's that AFV up in the audio, and then whatever video is showing will have the audio match. So that's what you want. What I really should have done is just plug that into the table over there and connected a bunch of sources. Wireless always has an audio lag for me to fix in my experience. Yes, this is very true. If you are bringing in wireless cameras and audio, you're going to have to do something to compensate. So if you are mixing a wireless camera with wired audio, the camera is going to be behind and the lips will not match up. So if you can delay the audio to match, that's fine. The ATEM can add up to 8 frames. A mixer can do often more, but I feel like it's a losing battle most of the time, because especially if you're cutting between things. So I would either bring an audio into the wireless camera so that it's just in sync with the wireless video, even though it's delayed from real time. At least the audio is in sync with itself. And then, or use wireless cameras in a way where you don't care about the sync. So if it's like a really wide shot or it's just B-roll, it's just like you know, video of an event where you're not watching somebody talk, but it's then it doesn't matter if it's in sync or not. Okay, well, I'm gonna keep going. Don't forget to add Q in front of your question if you want me to see it. Rodney says, do you have any videos on your channel that break down all the equipment that you have in your streaming rack that's in the background? I have a video that goes through a slightly older version of it, but it's been a while since I've done a full studio tour. So let me at least link to that one. I think it was from the beginning of last year. So it's not, actually, there's not that much new stuff in there. So it's pretty much talks about everything. Studio tour. Oh no. 2 years ago. Really? Wow. Okay. It's definitely time to do an update. So I'll drop this link in the chat anyway, because I had a good time with this video. I think it's a good video. But this is a 2021 studio tour 2021, and I did have the rack at that point, I believe. So a lot of the gear that's in my rack has been there since the beginning. Couple of new things I've added, I guess, would be I have a new audio interface to go into the computer for Zoom, and oh, I guess the Constellation for me was not there in 2021, of course. But thanks for the reminder. I should add that to the list. I need to shoot a video today or tomorrow anyway, so maybe it's time to do an updated 2024 studio tour. 2 years ago is 1 year and 1 day. That's true. I don't actually know the date of that video. Let's see. YouTube says it was September 2021. So it's in fact over 2 years ago. Okay, good to know. Do I ever regret painting the dual display? No, I really don't like the gray color on the old gray color on the Blackmagic products. So it was, actually they don't have it on the list anymore. Oops. I don't think they have the product page for it anymore because they replaced it with the new video hubs. But it is the same color as this stuff. So it was that light gray. All the older gear is that light gray. Let's see, there's almost none left at this point. But this is the gray that it was, and I really don't like that color. So I do not regret at all painting that display. Oh, they still sell that one, right? Don't they? They haven't replaced that one. Yeah, it's this. So, oh, funny, now they're showing it with the new hyperdeck and new, I suspect this is not a real photo because I wonder if they're swapping these things out in these photos. Interesting. Anyway, and you know, it has the Blackmagic logo over there, so it's all uniform now. I decided not to paint all the black gear though, because I don't mind that color, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, actually. Gwen says, in your Director Mini video, you asked folks to mention if they like a video on setting up using a VPN. I would love to see one. Good reminder. Thank you. Okay. I need to write these down because I'm going to forget by the end of the stream. So videos to do. We are going to do setting up a VPN. I wonder if I can do that in a way that is, it's a challenge. Okay. And then the other one was Studio Tour 2024. Great. Give me more video ideas because I need to put a couple more videos into the queue for my editor this week. And I would love to get some videos in there that are easy to film that don't take a ton of time. Studio Tour is a good example of that because I can just walk around and talk about things. VPN is going to be harder. Chester says, what do you recommend for portable data source? Teradek is expensive. So I've never used like the proper multi-SIM bonded expensive modems, which are definitely a good option. But they're expensive. So what I've mostly done is use my phone or use my phone's SIM card in another device. So like I will tether devices to my phone over Wi-Fi, or sometimes you can plug in a phone, and then the other one I've done is like I just take my SIM card out and plug it into the YoloBox, and I'm really upset that the new iPhones don't have a SIM card anymore because I won't be able to do that anymore, which is very annoying. So it's one of the reasons I'm not like just upgrading my phone immediately, because I'm like, this is gonna be really annoying not having a SIM card, not having that possibility. But that's what I've done, and I have a data plan in the US that is like 15 gigs a month. It's pretty affordable, and it has tethering as well. So, and they don't slow down the tethering, so I can tether my computer or tether a device to the phone and get full upload speed. So then I have done like take the SIM card into the YoloBox, use that directly. That works. Seabird says, do you use any timecode for your productions? And if you do, what timecode system are you using? I have started to. I don't have like I don't have a lot to say about it right now because I haven't done it that many times for that many videos, and I don't have a good system worked out for it, but I have started. One of the reasons I started doing it was because since I have an editor that edits my videos now, it is sometimes, depending on the way I film it, a real challenge to describe where all the shots go. So sometimes I film videos essentially live editing, like live cutting, and I'll just be in the studio, and then I will have just one recorder going, and I'll cut camera angles between them, and then, you know, she just takes out the gaps or whatever. But if I'm doing something that's going to involve a lot of B-roll that's like a studio tour example, if I write a script for a studio tour video and then read the script, then I want to insert all this B-roll on top of it. So no, that's not a good example of timecode. Sorry, that's my other method of doing it. The timecode example, the one that I did recently, I don't remember which video it was, but it was essentially I was doing some live switching of cameras, but then I had a handheld camera because I was showing other things around the studio, but I was still recording it all in one take. So I needed to have that camera timecode sync up with the timecode in the hyperdeck because otherwise I'm going to have to explain which clips go where. So for that, I used the Deity timecode thing to add timecode into the camera. And that way, as I was talking and explaining live cutting and doing handheld shots, stop and go all the time, everything just synced up. So, yeah, so Deity is the little box I got that injects timecode into the camera. It can also inject timecode into like the DJI Action 4 and a couple others. So I've been so far happy with it, but again, I don't have a ton of experience with it, so I haven't done a video about it yet. Do I like the setup on it? It seems fine. Again, I haven't used like others, so I don't know how it compares, but it seemed fine. Robert says, are you going to upgrade your router to the new 80x80? So if you can't tell, it's currently switched off. I have the 20x20 video hub. I've replaced the fans to make it quieter, but it's still, when I turn it on, it's still the loudest thing in the rack. And it is, it's off right now because the 40x40 was big enough for everything in the studio. However, I am running out of inputs, and I am considering either turning it back on, wiring it up again, or replacing it with another video hub. Probably not going to get the 80x80. That is $10,000, and that's so much. It's so much money. I would probably actually just get the 20x20, or probably, because the idea is that I am only going to run things into the video hub that I want ISO audio recording from. So like if I have a guest that I'm pulling in from like the Magewell Pro Convert, I would want to record their audio separately from mine so I can edit it later. And there's no ISO audio in once everything goes into the video, into the switcher, the ATEM, because it's just one audio mix. So anything that either has that I need ISO audio from would go into the video hub, or things I don't use very often. So like some of my encoders or decoders, like the one that's doing the cat cam right now, I don't use that all the time, so it makes sense to put it into the video hub so that I can free up and reuse that input in the ATEM for something else that I would be using. So that's my strategy right now. Again, I haven't turned it back on or rewired it, but that is, I'm getting very close to needing to. We'll see. We will see. I was just going to look up my cell phone referral link because I saw a question from Super Simple. What cell phone carrier are you getting unthrottled tethering from? So I use Mint Mobile, and I will drop my referral link in here for Mint Mobile, and I've been pretty happy with them. It's a little bit weird being on like the prepaid thing where you're like commit to an annual, or you flat out buy like 3, 6, or 12 months of a plan, and you get a better rate the more you pre-buy. But so I started doing like 3 months at a time, and then at that point I was like, this is actually working great. I'm gonna just buy a year at a time. So now I'm on like the 12-month 15 gig plan, and it's $20 a month, which I feel like is fine. Obviously, I know people in Europe have better deals, but we're not in Europe, so. Okay, are there any questions about add timecode video to your list of ideas? I don't think I'm ready for that yet. Just because I don't have, right now it's just still figuring out best way to use it. Koala says, did you know you can stack on that Echo Gear Rack another 20, 15, or 10U on top? I did not know that. That's interesting. Maybe I should add 10 on top. How big is 10? 4, 3, 6. Ooh, 10 is big. it would be higher than that TV, so I'm gonna have to bump the TV up. That's an interesting idea, though. Michael says, in strong coverage areas, it's probably fine, but heads up, Mint is prioritized below postpaid customers. Oh, I didn't know that, but I have not really had any problems with it. It's above home internet customers. Cool, I didn't know that. But yeah, like I said, I haven't really had any issues with it. Review one of the CineLive C1 switchers if you have one. You know, I do actually. That is a good point, and that's going into my list. Is there a way to output timecode from an ATEM Extreme switchers to deity, or how would an external camera and deity workflow would implement timecode the right way with ATEM switchers? See, this is an example of I haven't used it enough to have a quick answer for this, so it took me a while to figure it out. But that's a good question. What I was able to do was, now I don't even remember what I did. Yeah, this is not happening right now. Sorry, but I should do a timecode video once I figure it out, because I was able to get the timecode in the deity to match the ATEM so that everything synced up. But now I don't even remember how I did it. So. Stuart says, how do you or others store SD cards? Any recommended containers? Funny that you ask. I actually filmed a little, it's not a studio tour, it's just a brief update about a couple of things in the rack and in the studio that I have done for this year. It's in the list. I don't know when it's going to come out, but hopefully soon, because I don't want it to come out in a couple months. It's supposed to be like, here's my 2024 updates. But one of the things I talked about was SD card storage, because I did a whole project of organizing them. You can kind of see them on the rack there. They are sitting up there. I have this and so I have two different things that I've 3D printed. This one I found somewhere. I don't even remember where I found it. But it's this little focus. Come on. Are you not on autofocus? Where's my overhead? AB. No, you are not on autofocus. Okay. There we go. So this is where I have, like, it's just like a rack, and it either holds big ones this way or small ones that way, or USB in the middle. I don't remember where I found this, and I was trying to look for it the other day, and I couldn't find it. So it may have been taken down from Thingiverse. But these are all my empty cards, and I put a little sticker on the front that says empty. So I know that I can always grab one from here and format it without thinking about it. And this has been working well. The other thing I have for when I'm, this is obviously like they just slip out. So this is not like put it in a bag. This is for desk. The other one that I did is, this is something I actually made. And this one is, this is a little bit overexposed. There we go. This is a little smallest possible card I could come up with for 4 large SDs and 2 micro SDs. And then they just kind of are friction held in. And it's strong enough that they don't slide out. So I will put these, I'll put 4 cards in these and then stick this in a bag if I'm traveling. And it's been working pretty well. I like how it takes up like barely any space. So that was fun, really challenging to come up with the right measurements to make that friction fit work though. The IBC business card, yeah. All right, I'm getting through the questions. I'm way behind. Sorry, I'm trying to go through mostly in order. Let's Celebrate TV says, how's your stinger done? Is that a DBE wipe? So it is a animation that I made in, I believe that one was in Apple Motion. I think it's an Apple Motion. It may have been After Effects. And then it is actually loaded up into the ATEM. So I export it as a sequence of images, and then it gets put into the ATEM. So because it's in here, I can now go over to the Sting transition style, and then it doesn't work with the bar because it needs to run at exact timing, but now I can actually, when I do auto, it'll notice that it says 2 seconds down here. So it will run through the animation, each frame in the ATEM itself, which is really nice. So that's how I've been doing that. I also have the little, this little thing that's also now living in the ATEM. This one is 190 frames and should have audio with it as well. I hope the audio worked. Now I'm realizing I don't know if that's actually on. Yes, that should have been on. Okay, cool. But yeah, it's fun having a little animation pool in the ATEM. Speaking of, there was a question about the Stinger from Vinyl Vinny. The year is 2024. Oh, there was no audio for that. Interesting. Okay. Well, that's okay. It's just a little click and like a ding. But I wonder. It's in Media Player 3. Well, we'll come back to that. The year is 2024. Do you think Blackmagic will unveil what the Stinger button does on the Extreme? So that is what it would be for, is for doing the animations like that. I don't know why they haven't actually shipped this firmware update. So it appears that they had planned on putting an animated video pool into the ATEM Mini Extreme, but then did not for some reason. So I don't know why, but that's what it should be for. That's what Stinger means. So yeah, don't try it on the Extreme. Let me double check why. Okay, so the animation for this has audio. It's in Media Player 3. And my audio is showing me that Media Player 3 is set to audio follows video. So if I run it, we should see some audio. Oh, it's just like not even. Yeah. Don't know why the audio did not work. Do you hear the audio? Wait, why is there no X over this? Maybe it's not loaded. Maybe it's just a glitch. Because there's a little X when I hover over this one. I'm going to guess that's what happened. Let's fix it really quick. I should have the file somewhere. Stinger, subscribe.wave. Still doesn't have the little X, but I definitely just added it. Huh, don't know. It's supposed to do a little click, click, ding. I'll just have to say it manually, make the sounds myself. I'll figure that out later. Can the Stinger not just be a transparent static graphic? I guess it could. Yeah, you're right. So the other way to do it would be, so if you go into this one has the fancy Stinger. So I can use Media Player 4 as the Stinger source, but I can, no, that only gives me media players. So if it's not animated, what happens? Let's try it with Media Player 2. I don't know what this is going to do. Let's find out. And we'll come back to this. So I'm going to press auto which should run the stinger for 2 seconds using Mini Player 2, which is not an animated graphic. So that's not terribly interesting. But it did do what was advertised on the tin, which was a graphic as the transition, but it wasn't moving because it's not an animated media player. So yeah, I don't know. I think DVE is the one where you can put an image in and then it'll use the image. Let's see how this one works. Oops. I meant to do that. DVE. Yeah. Oh, effects. There we go. Let's try this again. That's what I was thinking of. Where it uses an image and it moves the image across, but the image itself is not animated. So I don't know if that's something that, but see, they don't call it Stinger. It's called DVE. So I don't know. It seems like they were going to add the Stinger animated thing to the Extreme, but just never did. Don't know why. Manual sounds are funnier. What format should the audio have? I thought I had done the same format as my other one that does work, but that could be the problem. Let's check. That's the problem. My Stinger audio that does work is 48 kilohertz, and the one that I was trying to use is 44.1, and that explains it. Yeah. Chester says, where can I get the Netgear? I don't know what Netgear you mean. Sorry. Vicky says, I like to buy older audio video gear to play with. Do you have any interest in older gear? I wish I did. I just don't have enough time to do it. I feel like if I had more time, I would. Right now, my old gear is that Mac, and I actually haven't even got around to installing the upgrade for the hard drive to get it to boot again. But that's my next old gear project. Do I have experience with the Netgear Nighthawk, or are you relying on YouTube reviews? I don't know. I don't even know what the Netgear Nighthawk is. Oh, it's a Wi-Fi router. I've never used it. No, I have no idea. VM Live Mini Production says, do you know any way of sharing Speedify VPN connection on Windows without using Connectify? I don't use a Windows computer enough to know the answer to this. Sorry. Would you happen to remember the Hollyland wireless transmitter receiver to make DSLRs wireless? I would like to create a 2 to 3 setup for recording live events using Panasonic S5 II. There's a bunch of different ones. So the one that I've demoed them in live streams. I just don't have apparently I don't have a video about them in a while. I guess it's been a while. Okay, it's been like several years. Wow. Okay. I should really do another video about wireless transmitters apparently. But so Hollyland makes some good ones. Let me see if I can push one of these into the chat really quick. I believe this one's relatively new. Oh yeah, the COSMO C1 is good. This one's I've used this one a bunch. And that has SDI also, which is nice. And the other brand that is great is Accsoon. They make a bunch of different combinations of them. This one, I believe this is the one that I saw at IBC. Also HDMI and SDI, which is nice. So I'll drop that link in the chat also. And Both those brands are great. Can't really go wrong with either of them. They're not cheap. Like, this is the thing about these transmitters, is that they're not cheap, but these ones are going to be significantly lower latency than like the $100 kind, which are mostly for screen sharing. I actually do have a video coming out about a new one of those, which is good for screen sharing, but not for wireless video cameras. I like the older Hollyland gear. I can swap the antenna out for a panel antenna and increase the range significantly. Model is 300. The removable antennas are useful. One thing to keep in mind is that that may not actually be legal depending on your... Oh, my links are going to the BTS stream. Thank you for that. Shoot. My little markers. Okay, I have a bug to work out. I'm gonna copy and paste these. The BTS stream is for the channel members, and they are looking at a BTS version of the room also. So thank you for catching that. I will need to update my code to prioritize the mainstream. Interesting. Okay. Where was I? Oh, antennas. Right. Okay. So yes, you can technically swap out the antenna. However, doing that may mean that you are now transmitting more power than is allowed in the spectrum. So it's possible. I don't know the power output of the device compared to what the limits are, but sometimes doing that will make it be louder than it's supposed to be legally. So keep that in mind and look up all the local regulations around antennas and stuff. I think this is why some of them are starting to just use the fixed or internal antennas so that people don't accidentally cause interference. Mark says, I know you've talked about them on the stream before, but I missed. How are you liking the Tail Air? Looking to use them for instructors doing demos connecting two to an ATEM. They're good. I'm very, very happy with them. I did do a video recently about the PTZ support, doing PTZ control with them, but I haven't done like a review kind of thing yet. But let me drop the link. PTZ, or companion control of OBSBOT Tail Air. So it is really cool that you can make a companion page. This is what mine looks like. That video that I linked walks through building this page out. But then I can actually just manually control the cameras if I didn't want to use the auto tracking, which is obviously the auto tracking is like the point of the camera, but sometimes you don't want it to do that. So it's useful to have the option, which is pretty cool. But no, they're great. And I need to do another, probably just like a simple video about using them for multicam live streaming. OBSBOT Tail Air. I'm adding this to my list also. Is that why Hollyland sells different antennas as accessories? So yeah, any of the ones that they're selling, are obviously going to be fine to use, and then they will sell different antennas that might give you more range, and those will all be well within the limits. Are you sure about the more power out with longer antennas? So it doesn't change the transmitting power, but it changed the radiation pattern. So if you imagine you have like the stick antenna, it's gonna transmit whatever power is in the device. Let's say it's 1 watt, and it'll transmit in all directions equally, right? So it'll radiate out 1 watt in all directions. If you swap that for a directional antenna, it's going to focus all that 1 watt in like a narrow band. obviously that's going to go a lot farther. That's the whole point of the directional antennas, is that you focus all the energy on the direction you care about and don't waste energy on directions you don't care about. So you can have your, like if you're doing this to cover a long distance in a room, then, and fixed cameras, then it's a great way to reduce interference with other things in the room too. But it means that your 1 watt is now focused on a narrow area. So the apparent received power at the other end is going to be more, right? So if you imagine you spread 1 watt out every direction, if you're at 100 feet away, you're going to get some percentage of that. But if all of that 1 watt is focused at that one point, you're obviously getting a lot more. That's the kind of thing that can, like, the rules for radiation are like how much how much power can you get, how much, and now I forget how it's actually written, but it's like, it's all about received power from like a certain point. So that's what the limit would be. And a directional antenna, if it's not sold that way, can end up bumping over that limit. Anyway, if they sell a directional antenna and you buy it for that device, it's fine because they've already done all the testing to make sure you're within the limit. It's just about if you're starting to do antenna hacks. Thank you. Effective radiated power. That's the word. Yes, effective radiated power. So your 1 watt transmitter, which is, these are not 1 watts. 1 watt's actually a lot. But if you got a 1 watt transmitter, the effective radiated power, if it's going in all directions, is obviously lower than if you are focusing the 1 watt in a single direction. TVND Studio says antenna can have a gain factor that makes the effective radiated power above the legal limit as defined by the authority for the location. Yes, exactly. There was something about the Nighthawk. Dan Spending says I have a Nighthawk and I hate it. And the building sheriff says I've got the Nighthawk. It's excellent. Okay. Oh, what are you doing? And it says also not fond of my Nighthawk. Huh. Okay. Yeah. Interesting mix of opinions. A super useful iPhone app is Architecture of Radio, which shows you locations and signal strength of nearby mobile towers. Fascinating, very helpful. That sounds like fun. Okay, moving on. Robert says, does anybody know if the Blackmagic Video Assist 5 or 7-inch can output HDMI and SDI simultaneously? This is a pre-purchase question. The Blackmagic website does not mention this scenario. I'm pretty sure they do. I've got one over there. Let's try it. Oh, jeez. I think I need a battery. How am I going to try this? I guess we're going to move over. Here. Huh. What happened there? Oh, because I had reassigned. I moved a camera around. Let's try that again. Hopefully we're on the right mic. It looks like we are. I should be able to test this really quick. It's doing that thing again where it's showing me the wrong mic exactly. But no, it is in fact the right mic. This is the video assist. It's a great little recorder, but I should have a way to try this with. How am I going to do this? Maybe I don't have enough things. Test HDMI and SDI. I don't have an SDI cable here. I can't try it. I can't do it. Nope. I'll have to test that later and get back to you. I'm sorry. I thought I could do it, but I don't have SDI stuff hooked up over there. Funny. What's generating the time and temperatures at the bottom of the video? It is all custom hacked up scripts. So when you say where you're from in the chat at the beginning or now, it'll go and use the location from everybody who's watching and then go look up the weather there. So let me know where you're joining from and I'll add your city to the rotation. Every time he writes new code, I want to kick myself for not keeping up with programming. Hey, it's never too late to start. Never too late to start. Is there okay, this was from earlier. Oh, we've got Pete from Dallas. Oh, why is it not detecting these? Say hello from and then your city, and then it should pick it up. Is there a way to record automatically when you plug in a hard drive to the ATEM Mini? Because I sometimes forget to press record, which yes, that is a problem. It's definitely a problem. I have done that before. No, there is no way to make it automatically record though. So best you could do is if you have it connected to Companion, which is what I'm using for like the controlling the macros and stuff. The best you could do is write something in Companion to do that. Although I don't know exactly what that would be. Because, yeah, I don't know exactly. Companion has this thing called triggers, which is really useful. I use this to completely automate one of the shows. When I was out of town, I just ran a recording and everything was pre-recorded, but I was live. It was actually live switching it so that the map worked. Anyway, triggers can be schedules or events from other things like on condition becoming true. But see, I don't know if there's there's nothing here about like a drive is plugged in. This is connected to my ATEM ISO, right? Yeah, it is. Okay, so what I was looking for is there a condition that's like hard drive is available, but apparently not. ATEM has tally conditions, upstream key, downstream key. You can trigger when you start recording. You can do something, which is useful, but there's nothing in here about like a hard drive is available. So best you can do is like scheduled, I guess. Sorry. Oh, cool. Okay, here we go. Got a bunch of people adding their cities to the rotation. Pete from Dallas, Al from Norwalk, Daily Racquetball. I don't know why yours is not working. Rapid City, South Dakota. Do it again, but with just SD. What are you doing from Hope Mills? IT Never Gets Old from Shoreview. TVND Studio from Minneapolis. Tulsa, Oklahoma. Anton from Remscheid. Image by Steve from Ting, UK. Rapid City, South Dakota. There we go. Michael says, I'm sure there's some application that will expose that as an HTTP webhook somewhere. Yeah, now we're getting into the real weeds of that. Hello from Kuala Lumpur. Thanks for joining. Great. Okay. Hopefully these work. It'll take a minute for it to sync up. I wonder if my if the map is going to show all these now too. Let's try this really quick. Oh yeah, cool. Now we get to watch these all roll in on the map. Wow. Okay. People from everywhere. This is great. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up while we're watching this roll in. And I will get to some of these questions in a second. We need a little bit of music for this. For the map. This is a lot of people. There we go. It's kind of fun to do a mid-stream check-in on the viewer locations. I should keep this in mind. Oh, thanks, MT. I forgot to do the sound effects. Whoosh, click, clack, ding. All right. Chester says, while we're watching the map, let me do a couple more here. Chester says, have you used YoloLiv bonding services? I have. I think I actually did do a whole video about that. About the network bonding feature. Let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah, there it is. Great. I'll drop this link in the chat. TLDR is it works better than I expected it to work. So, oh, Graham has to leave. Will your pin vanish? No. The TLDR on the network bonding feature is that it does in fact work well and better than I thought it would. So, I think I'm impressed. Even if you only give it one signal, it somehow works better, which is fun. Okay. Hopefully we got everybody there. That was fun. And now hopefully the weather forecast is full of new places. Ooh, yes, it is. Excellent. Okay. Should put the map in a picture-in-picture for the whole show? Apparently. Yeah, I should. Yeah, I'll have to think about that. We need to encourage folks from the Antarctic Survey Post Office to watch the stream. Yeah, I guess I could. Because this is all just in OBS. Theoretically, I don't know how this is going to work exactly. But theoretically, if I change the size of this. Let's make the height like 300. Then I could keep it there. Let's see if this works. That's a little bit tall. Maybe 240. That's kind of fun. Oh, now the chats are cut off. Right, because the chats expect the window to be a certain size. I could I could do this. Oh, wait. Here. What about full height but narrower? And then I can put it over here. Let's try that for a little while. I want to see the ISS passing over the globe. Not out of the question. Not entirely out of the question. Matt says it looks better. Okay. Anyway, The building sheriff, thank you for the super chat. Is there a way to have a backup stream on the YoloBox? It is advertised, but I can't find it. Hello from London. Well, thank you for the super chat. Let me see if I can find this, because I do have the YoloBox connected, showing the SRT feed. Is there a way to add a backup stream? So what does that mean exactly? Because you can stream to multiple places, because I can stream to 2 YouTube accounts, and the network bonding feature has backup, will be a backup redundancy. But what exactly do you mean backup stream? Do you mean backup stream like streaming 2 things to YoloCast? Is that what you mean? I'm trying to think. That could be the other way this is. This is turning into a cable TV channel with overlays everywhere. I mean, sure, why not? I've got network bonding, but it advertises that if your first stream drops, it'll go to your second stream. Oh, okay, so YoloCast. Let's check that out. I do remember seeing that in their docs. So in YoloCast, oh, this is the wrong account. So YoloBox Pro test. Okay, I don't care about destinations. I care about, yeah, how does it work? If, let's see, how can I, because if I'm streaming from a YoloBox to this, how can I stream a backup stream? Aha, backup stream, new. There it is. This explains it all. Add a backup stream to keep your live perfect, either on your second YoloBox or any other streaming encoder. And you can even push SRT, which is cool. So it looks like beta, or new. This is where you would go find it. That is cool. That's a cool feature. So I'm glad they did that. And I like that you can push SRT as a backup. That's pretty cool. Cable TV is way more expensive. How about putting the map on the large screen behind you? Ooh, I like that idea. Can I do that? Easily. I can. I think I can, actually, by hiding it from that. The problem is I don't have a second computer ready, so I hope it works on the Fire TV stick, because that's all I've got. The Fire TV stick has a bookmark to the map. Now that I separated the map out from the rest of the graphics, I should be able to do this. So we need to route the Fire TV stick to that screen. TV gets the Fire TV. Oh, it's still showing the New Year's stream. Great. And then, can I use this without looking at it? No, I can't. Back. Reload this. There's my map. Not the right zoom level. But, hey, it's there. So I need to work on, oh, and apparently I can't scroll the map either. But no, I like that. Good suggestion. We'll keep that on there, see what happens. Rodney says, is the backup stream feature in YoloLiv allow you to connect a camera feed, or is it just a graphic or video that comes up if you stream or computer crashes? So that's what we were just looking at. It looks like it's just a whole separate RTMP feed. So you can stream two totally separate things. It could be like a second copy of your main stream, or it could be a totally separate feed. And the, so whatever you want, really. Perhaps a map as a super source background since you have a few MEs. I'm not sure if that makes a lot of sense. That's kind of cute though. Aria says, I have the ATEM Mini. It's not supporting the latest software control. I need that for audio delay. So two things. This is one of the most confusing things about Blackmagic. So when you go download the new firmware for the ATEM, it'll say ATEM switchers 9.3.1 update. This update, usually when they put out these updates, they actually apply only to specific models. And if you go and look at the details, it'll say audio mapping for the 4ME Constellation 4K outputs, which I wish I could test this out because I'm so curious what this is, but I don't have the 4K. What this means is that this update probably will not apply to an ATEM Mini at all. And to show you what I mean, I have, if we go to the ATEM Setup app, I have a couple ATEMs around here. So the 4ME Constellation HD is the one I'm streaming with right now. It is on 921. Okay, great. But if I go over to the ATEM Mini Extreme, it's on 861, and it did not ask me to update the firmware. That's because the version 9.3 or whatever this is doesn't apply to the ATEM Mini Extreme. So it's not, that is the expected behavior. It's not broken. Totally separately from that, you absolutely should have the audio delay feature because that was added so long ago. It is in the audio tab. It only applies to the microphone inputs, right? Because you don't need to delay HDMI audio because the camera is bringing it in sync. So it only applies to the mic inputs, but it absolutely should be there. You should be able to just tap on that and change the delay. And then we go back to the most confusing thing about Blackmagic is their product naming scheme. Yeah. Implement that as an overlay separate from the chat map. I could do that. I could do that. I've written ISS trackers before. Oh, I thought you were gonna use your map as the background on a green screen. I could switch everything over to green screen, and we could do a little weather forecast, like a TV station. Crowdsource graphics direction. Billing Sheriff says, follow up to the previous inquiry. The backup stream does not work if you're using an ASP stream, only if you use standard stream. Interesting. Okay, thank you. That makes sense. I guess it makes sense. What is F? F is not a city name. Something got accidentally tagged as a city. Let's delete that one. Okay. Technobuzz says, GoStream has just added a stinger in their V2 firmware this week. Ooh, I should update mine and check it out. I haven't looked at that. GoStream firmware update sounds like a good video. Any progress on the Chaos router? Not really since the last time I shared it, I think. I'm looking at it down on the floor because that's where it is. It's still a collection of parts, but I did at least get the laser cut panel. Oh, I did put the parts in the laser cut panel, which is kind of fun. No, I have not made any progress on that. Maybe I can work on that tomorrow. Kevin says, I'm very interested in your idea of using the Major Director Mini as a remote contribution tool. Would you please share your idea of how to route the return audio for the return SRT stream? Yeah, I was just thinking about that actually. Because what I did in that video was really just showing the video routing of it. So the reason I didn't mention it was because a lot of times what you actually want to do in this case is have the communication between the guest and the host on a totally separate channel. Like I've done this many times where I'm in a Zoom call with somebody, but we're only using Zoom as the back channel, and then our video streams are like being pushed back and forth through other gear. One of the nice things about that is you always have the back channel even when like the stream is not on air, so you can talk to them before they're on air, things like that, without messing up what's on air. So that was kind of how I was imagining using it. But then I was like, actually, yeah, the Director Mini, maybe it is actually enough to run audio through if the latency is low enough. I didn't really time that out. But you would basically need to do mix minus at the studio side and send a copy to of the audio minus the Magewell's audio back to the Magewell. So it's all on the studio side, not in the Magewell Director. It's not a feature that the Director Mini would have. So, and you can't do it with the ATEM, so you have to have a separate mixer. But that, I do have that now, so I should be able to actually set it up that way, which is would be useful. Have I played around with the new Blackmagic Mini 4K cameras? I have the older ones and would like to get 3 more. I have not. I had one of the older ones, but I wasn't really using it. And then when I got these PGH ones, I sold it. The new one looks good. I've seen people post about theirs, but I haven't ever used one. It's such a good size. I'm tempted to get one, but I don't really need one because all these cameras are the Lumix cameras, which I like. So I don't know if it's worth me getting one just to test it out. Pete says, has the Magewell Director Mini taken over as your portable streaming device of choice? I haven't done a lot of portable streams lately because I haven't been traveling in the last couple of months. So it hasn't. I haven't had to make the decision of what I'm bringing to a remote stream yet. It is definitely a cool device. I don't know if it would take over as my portable device. It depends on the gig. So if I'm doing my live stream, one of the nice things about the YoloBox is that it does web overlay sources, and I know the web overlay is like a weird size, and I was just playing with this yesterday, writing a little ticker on the bottom. So the web overlay is like not 1920 by 1080, so you have to sometimes tweak things to get the graphics to work, but that makes it so that you can do a ton of cool stuff, and there is no browser source in the Director Mini, at least not yet. So that's a pretty big limit, and then of course the number of HDMI inputs is the other thing. But I think next time I do go travel somewhere, assuming I still have the Director Mini, I don't know when they're going to want it back. And I'm not planning on traveling. Oh, actually, I am planning on traveling next week, but 2 weeks from now. I don't know if I have any time to do a live stream though. Possibly Sunday night. Interesting idea. Maybe I will try that. So in 2 weeks, I'm going to go from this live stream directly to the airport and go to a event that I can't talk about because I signed an NDA to learn about a new product that I also can't talk about, that I'm very excited about, and you will eventually hear about it later. So that is coming up in 2 weeks. So I will go from this live stream to the airport to a hotel. So I could do another stream in the evening on Sunday, which is a little bit weird, but and then Monday's gonna be the event all day, so I don't have any time then. We'll see. And then I will not be traveling again till possibly Australia in March, and I haven't decided if I'm going to that yet. Al says, I'm working on the geochron and doing something similar for network traffic overlay. Oh, cool. Yeah. How do you ensure no aliasing lines or ridges on the ATEM HDMI input from a camera feed? Shouldn't see any. I don't know what kind of aliasing lines you're seeing. I guess make sure that the camera is outputting 1080. Maybe that's, if it's outputting 720, I could see that looking bad. The ATEM will take 720 in and scale it up. Maybe that's what it is. Chris says, have you ever tried tail scale for VPN? Super simple to set up and no poking holes in firewalls. They even allow LAN access to devices that don't directly support tail scale. You know, I only once tried tail scale. It was right after I got my whole WireGuard set up. So I was not super interested in redoing it all. But now that I don't have the WireGuard site-to-site link anymore because I don't have 2 locations anymore, I haven't been using WireGuard nearly as much. So maybe it is time to try out tail scale. One of the maybe the thing to do is try out tail scale, and one of the things that they have done is make it, yes, like you said, very simple to set up. Maybe that's the way I can do a video about VPNs, because otherwise VPNs are very hard to figure out. Oh, hey, Roxanne, your thing worked. I like that. It pulled it up on the map. I might need to slightly unblur this camera so we can actually read the messages back there, though. Philip says that new redacted product sounds cool, especially for use in redacted situations. Yes, exactly. Technobuzz says, playing around this week, I found my TBS 2603 can encode one HDMI to NDI while decoding a second NDI to its output. Interesting workflow potential. Oh, that is interesting. I didn't realize it could do both at the same time. Good catch. HDMI to NDI. So you can encode, so it's bidirectional, basically. Bidirectional HDMI to NDI. Oh, there's some interesting things you could do with that. Gwen says, maybe get a Blackmagic Mini camera for review and sell it to another YouTuber who wants it, like you're doing with Doug and the 2110 gear. I could possibly do that. Yeah. Lee's Boring Life says, oh my gosh, there were a bunch here that I skipped over from the beginning. Oh, we did talk about the YoloBox question. What do we do when Sling Studio doesn't release an update and their site doesn't work? The app sometimes crashes. I mean, I'm pretty sure Sling Studio is dead. I'm sorry to say. It was such a good device, but as far as I can tell, the team does not exist. Team who's building it does not exist anymore, and it's just an orphaned product. At some point, yeah, the app is going to start crashing on newer phones and not work. And it's sad because they did such a good job with that device. I really liked the fact that it was the wireless cameras were like part of the core concept of it. So they would sell a little wireless transmitter that paired to the space station, and you didn't have to like buy a separate receiver. So it was all built in, and you could use iPhones with it as a camera. I used it for a bunch of gigs a long time ago, but I think it's about at the end of its life, sadly, and they don't seem to be interested in working on it again. Lee's Boring Life says, I just rewatched Kevin's unhacked video. Kevin's unhacked from a year or two ago. That was awesome how you walked him through fixing the StreamYard while in the middle of the stream. Oh yeah, that was an adventure. That was so funny. I was just thinking about it the other day. He had organized this whole like 6 or 8 people, other YouTubers, to get onto his stream as guests. And we were all in StreamYard, like talking, and we could see what he was doing in StreamYard, but he was actually streaming from OBS. So none of us were actually showing up on the stream. And what you saw as a viewer was him introducing us one by one and doing like a little cheers and saying, and here's my friend Aaron, welcome, Aaron. And then it's still just Kevin on the screen. And then as, you know, I would say something, he would pause. So you just hear this silence. Well, and it sounds like he's talking to himself and he's making everybody up. It was hilarious. But I walked him through switching over to stream from StreamYard to the same same YouTube URL so that we didn't lose all the guests, because that's like the classic problem is if your stream goes down and you make a new live stream, you're going to lose a bunch of your viewers. They're not going to switch over to the new video. So the trick was cut the OBS stream just short enough and start pushing to the same stream key so that YouTube doesn't disconnect that event. Make sure auto stop is not turned on also. It was so funny. It was so funny. Tom says, what's level A and B on SDI? Seems some computer input card won't do both. How to convert the level. I don't know the actual like details of what A and B are, but they're just different ways of encoding the signal. And now I forget which one's like technically the standard one, but then Blackmagic did the opposite one. It seems like it hasn't really been a problem for me. Most of my gear is Blackmagic, but a lot of it's not. And most of it's fine. If some of them will have a switch so you can change which one it does. But if there's something that like really only sends A and you're trying to go to a receiver that only supports B, you'll need a converter in between. And there are some products that do the conversion, but I feel like I don't think I've ever used something that I was not able to switch or to just have it work. So yeah, I would be suspicious. B is for Blackmagic. Oh, right. Okay. B is the Blackmagic one. Don't know why they did that. It was like watching someone get coached on landing a 747. It was pretty fun. Michael says I have only one device that only supports A, and it was a YoloView product. Kind of annoying. Okay. Oh, I missed this one from earlier. I just bought an ATEM Mini Pro, and I would like to know what's the best cameras to use with it, say Canon SL3 being a choice, and how to use an iPhone with no lagging. Okay, two totally different questions. The most cameras are going to be fine if they support clean HDMI out, and I have a suspicion that that Canon camera does not. I'm not 100% sure. Let's see if I can find it. Some of the cameras that are more like for photography will not do clean HDMI out. I had the SL1 and it definitely did not. I don't know if they changed it in this. So look for that feature, look for the clean HDMI out feature. And then at this point, most cameras that have like video recording features, like the Lumix line supports good video, like Sony cameras do good video. Some of the higher end Canons will also, they're all going to do clean HDMI out. You often have to go change it in the menus though. It may not be the default, but plenty of good options for that. And then the iPhone option, I think I linked to this already earlier in the chat, so it'll be in the description after the stream is done. But I did a video about using an iPhone as a wireless camera. You're always going to have some lag. There's no way around that. But there's some options that will give you less lag than others. But that's all covered in that video. MT says level A is a direct mapping of the video signal to a 3G SDI. Level B is multiplexing two signals from the dual link format as is into one 3G. Okay, yeah, I'll have to look. I'm going to have to dig into that. Level B SDI is standard. See, I thought B was the non-standard one because it's what Blackmagic did, although now it's effectively the standard. Hollyland Mars 400 outputs level A. And YoloView encoder only accepts level A. Okay. Video call services says I always use a list on the Atomos site for looking for cameras with clean HDMI out. Oh, interesting. I've never seen that page. Okay, Canon SL3 definitely has clean HDMI out. Okay, good. That's good to know. I'm glad they changed that because the one that I had, the early version, did not do it. So, oh, Robert explained this better. Level A carries a single 3G stream. Level B carries two 1.5 streams, whether a single dual link or two completely separate streams. Cool. David says, how good are the web presenter H.264 encoders? Are they comparable to something like X264 slow? H.264 can mean a lot, but I haven't found good documentation on how it encodes exactly. Yeah, I haven't found good documentation on it, how it encodes exactly either. The we have one not fan of the web presenter. I am streaming with web presenter right now, so this is this stream that you're looking at is coming from the web presenter. So it is in its 6 megabit per second setting, and I think it looks fine. What I will say is that the web presenter and the ATEM Minis do not do well if you have bad network connections. So if your network is flaky, then it's not going to be a good option, and you will be very upset. So the that's the main problem with them. But as far as like picture quality, I think they're great. Oh yes, this is another big difference. You're right. It doesn't do CBR, only VBR, which is a big problem. I know some streaming platforms don't like a variable bitrate signal, and the web presenter will only do variable bitrate. So right now it's about 6 megabit because it's got a video. But if I cut to something that's like got more flat stuff on the screen, like a computer screen, this is going to drop. The data rate is dropping now. It's at 5. Now it's at 4.5 because it doesn't need to use as much data to encode the signal. So the now we've leveled out and it's at 3 megabits. So that's useful because it's only using as much data as it really needs to get the signal up. But some streaming platforms really don't like the variable bitrate. So it depends on where you're streaming to. Oh, Matt, thank you for the good tip. The ATEM is only 1080, so you don't need a real expensive camera. The Sony ZV-10, less than $1,000 used. Yeah, totally. You don't need to get a super expensive camera for the ATEMs. The being 1080, most cameras at this point will support 1080 HDMI out, and it'll look fine. It'll look good. It's more about make sure you get good lighting. B4 pixels. This is a tough one. How do you rate this OC, Go Stream Deck, ATEM Mini Pro, and YoloBox according to flexibility and performance? So I would say that the Go Stream Deck and the ATEM Mini Pro are much more one-to-one comparable. They're clearly like going after the same use cases, the same format. That compared to either of those compared to the YoloBox are totally different things. So like the YoloBox is really meant to be all of your like everything is in the YoloBox. It's all one piece. It's all just ready to go. It can do tons of stuff, and to do all the things with the YoloBox in ATEM Mini or the Go Stream Deck is going to require adding a bunch more stuff. That said, the Go Stream Deck does have a few things that the ATEM doesn't, like being able to play back from the SD card, for example, which means you can start to do some interesting things with just the Go Stream Deck without adding a ton of extra gear, but still you're going to want more. You're going to end up needing to add more gear to either the ATEM or the Go Stream Deck to do a full production. Spend your money on lights and good mics. Absolutely. Yes. Am I using Unos from Singular Live for their lower third graphics? No, I haven't played around with Singular Live very much. David says, I want to see how web presenters deal with high motion scenarios and how it deals with fine detail. Some encoders are trash and become blocky. I use AV1 encoding and it's solid. So the new web presenter at least supports H.265 in 4K, but the old one does not. Yeah, I would like to see more motion. I guess that's something that I don't really have in the stress test clips. So I do have these test clips for testing stuff like that, but the most... Well, no, I guess the little noise track is kind of a test for the motion. Do I have that? Do I have that hooked up? I think so. Yeah, it's right over there. Where is... Why is it not connected to the ATEM? Did its IP address change? Where did it go? Hyperdeck. HD plus. It did change. Apparently I gave it a real static IP. Okay. There we go. Oh, this is a 4K clip, so that's not going to work. Darn. Okay. I have the wrong SD card in there. Yeah. Oh well. Yeah, I would like to do some better tests of the web presenter encoder. Michael says, I love Singular Live. We use it for so many things, particularly interacting with track and field timers and results. Oh, interesting. Okay, cool. I use the GoStream in the conjunction with the YoloBox Mini to make up for the shortcomings of the GoStream. See, I think this is a great combo. Either ATEM or GoStream with the YoloBox. I think it's a really good combo because the YoloBox can be it can do a bunch of stuff to the like add the graphics and web sources and things like that, like downstream, and do stuff that you can't do in the ATEM or GoStream. What am I using for the weather infographic? I wrote it myself. It's just some HTML. Okay. Wow. It's already like almost been 2 hours, so we should really wrap this up soon. But before we do this, before we wrap up, I want to weather update. I haven't even looked outside. Let's see. Let's oh, I have an idea. Let's do a weather update by looking at road cameras around Portland. Let's see. Oh, that one doesn't work. Oh, yeah, that's some snow. That's some snow. Is that one on? Highway is mostly clear now. About downtown, how's Burnside? This one was a mess yesterday. There was like nobody out. It looks like they've got some traffic now. So not good. Oh, that's a fun place for a camera. Top of that bridge. This is where a lot of, once you get farther east, is where a lot of the snow was coming down first yesterday. Let's see. How far do we have to go? What's our farthest east camera? Oh yeah, that looks bad. How are we doing down here? Yep, okay. That one's offline. How about Mount Hood? Oh, their power must be out. Look at all those cameras that are down. Oh no. Oh gosh. Okay, back into town. How are we doing? Like closer in. Ooh, wow. They got some good snow there. and no traffic to wear it down. Oof. Who is driving in this? Who does that? Do not do that in Portland. Not a good long-term plan. How about Beaverton area? Oh yeah. Gosh, what a mess out there. Do not go out if you don't need to. Not a good day for it. So Lily has been, she works at OPB, the radio station, and obviously things have been a little busy this weekend, but she's down here somewhere. Because we knew the storm was coming with plenty of advance notice, she ended up, so she does the weekend morning news. So she'll be on the air starting at like 5 a.m. all morning. That's not a good sound. What was that? So she does the morning news on Saturday and Sunday morning, and the snow was starting Saturday, which we knew about ahead of time. So she actually slept at the office Friday night and Saturday night and has just been running the radio as the only person in the office all weekend. So, and I just missed her. She ended up getting a story on the national radio, NPR, and it aired at 10:02 today. So it was about the weather. So I'll have to go listen to the replay on that. So yeah, she's been out of the house for a couple days, camped out at the office to keep the radio going. Portland is closed till Tuesday at least. Yes, absolutely. Am I a Portland native at this point? Yes, it is. I was technically born in San Francisco, but my family moved up here when I was 4, so I've been here since then. Singular is basically the low-code JavaScript version of what you do for your overlays. Can you like pipe in data from other sources though? Because like that could be handy. Maybe I should try that. Because like getting the data into, most of the work of this overlay is getting the data source of like pulling it from the chat, from the YouTube chat, going and talking to a weather API, like figuring out time zones, all that kind of stuff. The actual HTML is very simple for that. Mr. B says, I'm in Salem and it's nasty down here. I believe it. I believe it. Monday's a holiday anyway. Yeah. You can pull in data from Google Sheets. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Singular, yes, I pipe data in and out with REST APIs and a bunch of other ways. There's a super low latency API too, which I use for tenths of a second on the clock. Interesting. Huh. Okay. Your channel was one of my best findings in 2023. Thanks for all your support. I'll become a member soon. Oh, thank you so much. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Okay, that was the weather update for the morning. Let's wrap up with a quick couple rounds of trivia, and hopefully the trivia game works. But I wanted to test it while we're here, because last week there was a weird bug and I still don't understand what went wrong. So we're going to wrap up with a little game of trivia. Let's cue the music, and I need to turn on slow mode for the chat. So, okay, the way the trivia game works is I've got a couple of questions about some of the things I've talked about in recent videos. So if hopefully you've been watching videos on the channel and you should know all the answers already. But it'll be a little trivia game. Currently the prize is just that you win bragging rights. Maybe at some point I'll get some actual prizes in here, but we're still working out the bugs in the trivia game. So the way it works is I'm going to turn on slow mode in the chat in a minute, and that means you will be able to put text in the chat only every 30 seconds. So it'll block you for 30 seconds. And the reason I'm doing this is because the way you will answer the trivia is by answering in the chat. I will read the question, read out the options, and then reveal the letter that corresponds to the options. And the first person to guess the correct answer wins that round. You can guess more than once. It'll use whatever is your most recent guess, which is why there's slow mode. So make sure you guess your guess the most correct option you think first, because you have to wait 30 seconds to change your mind. Okay, slow mode is going on. So what we're gonna do is pull up a question, and we're going to start with the question: which of the following is not a feature of the Magewell Director Mini? Which of the following is not a feature? The options in a random order are internal battery for portable use, rotating video sources, built-in Wi-Fi, or 2 HDMI inputs. So again, which of these is not a feature? The letters, the options are, oh, I guess I need to get rid of the weather for a minute. Drop your answers in the chat. Go, 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 go. And we'll wait for the answers to roll in. Ooh, we got a big mix of them here. Okay, ooh. We've got split opinions. You can revise your answer, but you have to wait 30 seconds. And again, the first wins, so not a lot of point in revising your answer. Everybody who answers correctly also wins, but the first person wins more. Okay, I'm gonna give it only a couple more seconds for this last batch to come in. Okay. The correct answer is, drum roll, the internal battery. Oh, why is it not green? Well, it worked. So the Magewell Director Mini does in fact have 2 HDMI inputs. It does have built-in Wi-Fi. You can rotate video sources, which is something that not a lot of other switchers can do. And it can even rotate them like at arbitrary angles, not just 90 degrees, which is very cool. However, it does not have an internal battery. You have to either power it over, give it 12 volts, or give it batteries. The big Sony NPF batteries. So most of you got it right, but who got it right first? It's Nils, of course. Why are you so good at this? Every time. Well, congratulations. You were the first person to guess the correct answer. I'm going through the chat just to double check. Wait a second. Something is fishy. Nils says no. Did you cheat? Okay, let's figure this out. Who, let me go into the debug mode. We're going to sort by timestamp, which is microsecond level accurate. I'm going to do this manually. The first D I see is actually MT. How did my code not figure that out? This is the first one that I see. It's set to auto nils. Apparently you're just hard coded as the winner. Oh no, James got an ad just as the question came up. So I'm sorry. I should have paused ads. Let's pause ads again. I forgot I can do that. Okay, it is MT. MT one. I'm gonna have to debug that. Let's do one more. And see if this one works. The question is, The question is, which video modes can the OBSBOT Tail Air output? Video modes. The options are, you're gonna probably have to wait until you see them on the screen because it's a little bit confusing. There's a lot of letters. Again, I'm not reading them in the order that corresponds to the letters. So the options are SDI, USB, RTSP and NDI, NDI and HDMI, HDMI and SDI. Got all that? So I'm going to show you the answers now. Or the options, rather. Get your answering fingers ready. This one, I think, is going to be pretty split. Let's see how many people get it right. Go, 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 go. Thank you, Daily Racquetball, for OBSBOT Tail Air videos. Answers start here. Okay, we're going. We're going. Getting the answers rolling in. Let me. I'm gonna look up the in the database because I don't trust my graphics anymore. I think I know the winner. And it's not Nils. So if the graphics say that Nils wins, again, I'm gonna be 6 people answered before I even saw the choices. Well, they're just taking a wild guess then, because if you use up your 30 seconds to answer a random letter, then you're just a random guess. Okay, it looks like most people are agreeing on B. Some people are saying, we got a lot of people answering A. But what is the correct answer first? Ready? The correct answer is, I hope this works, B. That is in fact the correct answer. NDI and HDMI. So yeah, it does not have an SDI port on it. It can do USB output, webcam output, but there's no SDI port, so that rules out C. So the correct answer was B, NDI and HDMI. Okay, now. The only issue with this is that all of us receive the video at a 1 to 3 second delay, so the person closest to a YouTube internet exchange will see the live stream first. It's true. People are picking letters before you show the answers. So actually, this is a good point. The way that this works is my code doesn't actually start looking for looking for an answer until I show the options on the screen. So when I'm reading them out, it's actually, if you say anything during that point, it ignores you. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe there's a problem with it. Maybe that's what happened with Nils. Okay, let's see. Let's see who this thinks the winner is, and let's see if I agree with that. The winner is Image by Steve, which I verified a second ago, and that is in fact correct. Congratulations. Steve was the first person to guess the correct answer. Nils was there 5 seconds later, but Steve beat him by 5 seconds. All right. Hey, that mostly worked. Not bad. It can't do RTSP, are you sure? No, it can do RTSP. Actually, no, I'm not sure if it can. I don't think it can. I will have to double check. No front running the answer queue. We got one good clean run on the QA and verified. The people in the studio audience there with Aaron respond first. Yeah, the whole studio audience here. Okay, that mostly worked. Well, good. Let's, yes. Oh, thank you. Slow mode off. I wish there was a way to put a button on the Stream Deck for this, but I don't think, I'll have to look into that because I have to go into like the YouTube dashboard to do it, which is annoying. I have to go like into the edit page. Slow mode is off. Chat away. I'm going to try to make a Stream Deck button for that. That sounds like a good project to do while I'm sitting under cats. Okay. Hey, if we can get this thing dialed in, then maybe I will put actual prizes on here. But for now, I'm not confident enough in the quiz software to tie actual prizes to it. Can't update in 7 minutes. That was 7 minutes before the top of the hour. So, okay, funny story. So the auto feeder was set to go off every hour, and so does the clock in the house. So the cats learned the association of the clock goes off and then food. So every time the clock goes off, they would run over to the food bowls. The problem was that they would eat all of the food available. So I was making only a little bit come out at a time because they just eat whatever's in front of them. And it seemed like they were very treating the food like it was a very scarce resource. Like they have to eat it now, otherwise it's not going to be there again. And I didn't think that was very healthy. So I'm trying to train them out of that. So what I ended up doing was the way I have to feed them food is I have to lock them in the bathroom while I put their food on the plates. Otherwise, they will climb me while I'm feeding them, which is hilarious and cute, but also very difficult to serve food. So they're locked in the bathroom. I get their wet food out, and then I also been filling up the dry bowl and just putting a pile of food in there, which is way too much for them to eat in one go. And that way they see it and they don't think I have to eat it before it goes away. And this seems to be working. The only downside is it means that now when the clock goes off, sometimes they just like perk up and then they realize, oh, I don't need to rush over there because there's plenty of food. So it's not as cute anymore, but it's probably healthier for them. So Gwen says, for the trivia bug, I think Nils answered different letter first and early and then changed the answer, so it might be that. I did see his answers come in early. You're right. So it would have ignored those. So the question is, why didn't the first person... I might need to deal with this 3-second delay better. That might be what's going on. Because if I have a 3-second delay from when I click the show to when you see it, or the other option here is figure out a different way to pick a winner than first. Maybe it's the last person to get it right. If you have any suggestions for how to pick a winner for the round that isn't just the first person, I'm open to suggestions. It's interesting. Okay. You can do everything with the Stream Deck. Well, as long as the thing you're controlling has an API. Don't worry about the round. Do only the most number of right answers. That would work. I would have to... There'd be a lot of ties, and I would have to also make sure I always do more questions in a round. So, but that might be the answer. Might be the solution. Ooh, a question with a large number, closest to the number wins instead of multiple choice. True, yes. Random winner from correct guesses. Yeah, okay, a lot of suggestions for the random winner. Picking a winner could work like you feeding the cats. Nils says, I answered only after I had seen the answers, but I did type the wrong answer several times. Okay, interesting. I have no idea how that happened with that first one then. You can have random letters for the answers. That doesn't entirely solve the problem, but that would help. I see where you're going with that. I was frantically Googling pictures of the tail hair. You type start in the chat and have the code look for that to start looking for answers. That doesn't solve it either, because when I put start in the chat is 3 seconds before you see the video of me doing that, if that makes sense. So that's essentially what I'm doing right now. By clicking the button, it's putting that timestamp, but that button, when I click it, there's actually 3 seconds until you see the answers on the screen. Just for troubleshooting the code, I'm quite sure that Steve sent his answer way before they were shown. My first answer was shortly behind his, and I answered way before they were shown. I'll look at that. I'll dig into that. One of the confusing things also is that what you see on the screen is not actually what you see on the screen is not actually the in the order that it is in real life, because you're always going to see your message when you send it, not when it hits the server and gets sent back out. You might have to delay the next question to take out of the slow mode. Yeah, that's why I was trying to just chat for at least 30 seconds between. Eliminate doing it in chat and go to a web URL. That's the other option. I feel like this is like the normal way to do it, right? And there's plenty of trivia tools I could use to do this instead of writing my own. What I don't like about it is that it's a lot more to ask of the viewers, because now I have to put a link in the chat, get you to open that in another tab. Now you have to have 2 tabs open, or a phone and a computer, and I guarantee that I will have fewer people who actually do that compared to just answering in the chat. So my theory was we'll get more people joining the game if all you have to do is do it in the chat. It might be good to not show answer breakdown until the question is over to prevent folks from jumping on the bandwagon. You're right. If we switch to picking either random winner from all the correct answer or other things like that, then yeah, probably not show the progress of the votes. The reason it was fine here is because it's the first person who answers wins. So by the time you see the results, somebody's already picked the right answer. I like the idea of choosing a random winning answer. It kind of leaves out viewers on mobile who don't subscribe to premium. Oh, right, because if you're on mobile and then you click a link on mobile, YouTube, if you're not in premium, won't keep playing the stream in the background. Yeah. Send in an answer on a postcard. That's a different game, but that would be fun. A prize at the end of the month, total points. Ooh, that could be a good way to do it. Okay. And then maybe switching, maybe not just multiple choice answers, guessing the closest to the number or whatever would be another way to do it. Oh, you looked this up. OBSBOT Tail Air can record stream using HDMI, USB, NDI, and RTSP. Are you serious? Are you serious? See, this is the other problem, is that I have to triple check my answers. I thought I checked that. So I should have said, I should have had RTSP and SDI as that option. What about the poll YouTube already has? We did that once. It was really cumbersome, it turns out. Also, I don't think I can see individual responses from that. What IP address am I thinking of? Don't select the first correct winner, but announce the X correct? I don't understand. The correct answer was B and C. You win? Okay, because you answered both of them. Have I tried Mentimeter? It sounds familiar. I have not. I've actually used Slido for stuff before for work, which is fine when you're like in Zoom, asking people to pull up something on their computer when they're in a Zoom meeting. That works fine. But oh, and Slido works well for in-person events too. But yeah, I think I want to keep it in the chat for this stream. I'm curious though about, for like, do other people agree with me that keeping in the chat keeping the chat as the interaction makes sense. I think it does. Okay, we are going to wrap this up. Yes on chat. Okay, good. I agree. Looks like Lily is off work finally, on her way back on the bus. So, long weekend. That's a lot of time at work. I guess we're gonna wrap this up. Keep it in the chat. Okay, everybody agrees that chat is the way to go. Great. Your hardware is amazing. What's your full-time job? I work in the software industry in security space, and I do a lot of work on specs, mostly about logging into things. So you can find some of my stuff. If you search my name, you'll find that work as well. And it has nothing to do with any of this stuff. So this is just my weekend projects. But that brings me to the, oh, I see what you're saying. Announce before the question that the 5th correct winner and change that number before each question. Oh, that's hilarious. I could try that. Thanks for another fun stream. Well, thank you for joining. And thanks to all of the channel members for support. I think I need to update. I forgot to update this. I think there's somebody who just joined between this week. But Marcin, thank you for being an extreme supporter. And if I remember correctly, we also had Michael joining as an extreme supporter. Thank you, Michael. I need to update my graphics for the credits. Thanks everybody for joining. Thanks for all the questions. This was fun. We'll do it again next week. I'm pretty sure we can do it again next week. Hopefully there'll be less snow next week, and things will be a little bit less chaotic here. But yeah, hopefully everybody is staying warm, or I guess cool, depending on what hemisphere you're in. But hopefully everybody's staying warm in Portland or Northwest, where we're getting this extreme weather. And good day from Chicago. Oh, I heard it's very cold over there. So yeah, hopefully you are doing okay. All right. With that, we will wrap this thing up. I'm going to go debug some trivia code and try to get this to work for next week. We will see you all again later. Thanks.